The Ghana Education Service has taken immediate action following the emergence of a disturbing video showing an act of violence involving two students of Adisadel College. The video, which has been circulating on social media, has sparked outrage and raised concerns about the safety of students within the country's educational institutions. A student is filmed holding another from the back at the neck level with the inner part of his elbow. He takes the student closer to a bunk bed and hits the powerless student's head against it. This causes an immediate swelling on the right cheek of the student and blood starts oozing. According to a statement signed by head of the Public Relations Unit, Cassandra Chum, for Ghana Education Service is deeply concerned and strongly condemns the barbaric act by the culprit. Well, we'll try and bring you Cassandra Chum from the Ghana Education Service, but let's get on to Zoom and get in touch with the former GIMPA rector and a renowned educationist, Professor Stephen Adai, to speak on how to check this lifestyle in our schools. I'm grateful for your time, Prof. Let me pick your preliminary thoughts on this worrying video.
First of all, bullying, sad to say, has been with our education system for a long time. And I'm glad that at least, sad as the event is bringing it into becoming a policy issue. I remember even as a student at Seville also Training College, because we, fortunately, just by God's grace, my class was so ethical that when we got to the P4, that's T4, that's the final stage, we banned bullying in the school, to the great annoyance of the second year people, because the second years are those who do the most bullying, having just gone through the bullying year. And they were so furious with us that we banned, the students ourselves banned bullying, and therefore they couldn't bully those who were following them. But it is very, very rampant. I ran a school in which bullying is totally a dismissible offense. But even then, the past 5 years, we have dismissed about 3 or 4 students for bullying, which shows even where they know that if you bully anyone and that one is not to this extent, like taking the person's food or anything else, immediately you are dismissed. And we have had to dismiss in the past few years about 3 students. So it is a big menace in the schools. And to me, it is also has a very, apart from the physical effect, the psychological, and it's one of the reasons why some students are not able to make it. And I believe that it is such a serious of that we should make, GES should make a policy and hold the head teachers and head mistresses responsible that bullying is a dismissible offense. Apart from the fact that if you injure somebody, it's a criminal offense if you are more and be treated so. And unless we do so, a lot of people become victims and their future is jeopardized.
More worrying is the fact that it seemed to become like a norm, and students are actually hesitant to go and report for fear of being targets. Why so?
Yes, and what I'm saying has been more than a norm. It's a culture in our public schools for decades. Their grandfathers can say so. And unless people know that they are 100% shielded. For example, I'm sorry that I have to use Ghana Christian International High School. The child will report because he knows that when he or she reports and is found out, that student is dismissed immediately. And therefore, those who will take advantage, you know that that is going to be the end of their education. I believe that it depends upon the educational authorities who And the victims must know that they are totally protected. And then it will not happen. And this idea of, this a child play, let us, forgive them, warn them, and that is no. Nobody has the right of hurting another person just because he's younger than you. That's all that it is, happen to be younger than you. And if we don't allow it in our homes, we should not allow it in the schools. And the head teachers and the other things condone it. I believe that the protection has to come from the management. And I believe that when we start punishing the head mistresses and head teachers for allowing it, because they know that it happens, they cannot say it doesn't happen. And they must be the ones to provide absolute guarantee to the victims that if you do so, you will not become a victim of even a worst case, because the students who are doing it will not be in the school. And I think that's the policy GES should put in place. It is a criminal offense, and criminals are not allowed to mingle with ordinary people. We put them in Sawam. So in the school, of course, they may not go to Sawam. They will know that is the end of their education. There should be no compromise.
Let's look at what goes through the mind of these bullies. I mean, is this something to do with, do they have a mental disorder? Or is it that it's a training they get from home or wherever they're coming from to join the others in school? What could be accounting for that?
I'm not a psychologist, but I think that it comes from they come from several reasons. First, it's they themselves, a lot of them, have suffered bullying, as we found out when I was in training college. So the second years were those who did the worst bullying, having gone through the bullying year, being the first year. And they were the ones who were so angry with the TFOs for stopping and banning bullying, as we also training college during our time. So first one is because they have suffered victims and they were looking that it will be their turn. So a lot of them is because it's allowed, they have become victims. And unfortunately, you would think that when people become victims, they would want to stamp it. But this one, it works the other way. Some also have had some abusive homes and poor treatment at home, and they want to show that they have arrived. But most of it has to do with the fact that they have been victims, and they think that it is not their turn to pay the juniors and probably show that they are now seniors.
So, I mean, one of the key things we can do is to dismiss students who are engaged in these things. But we are also hearing that a lot of them will not even report the matter for fear of being targeted. I mean, ideally, how do we eliminate
that one? I've addressed that one. The reason why they are afraid to report is that the people will get some light sentence, and then the other people will even worsen their case. And of course, then you opt for the lesser of two evils. But why do people in our school, and we have 1,100 students, why do they not bully? Because the victim is totally guaranteed, and this is the school handbook, which we make even parents sign, that bullying is immediately dismissible offense. So therefore, if, of course, if you have a murderer or a rapist and other things, and they are given light, they are released on bail and back to the society, they go back to attack the victims. It is a phenomenon. We know it in our justice system. That's why they keep them behind bars. Why? Because if somebody goes to report a rape and the person is released into the same community, most likely he will murder the person. So stupidly thinking that will cover the evidence, not knowing that he will then be trial for murder. And it occurs. And in the same way, if a child knows that if they report, they will suffer greater victim, victimization. They will not report, but authorities can ensure that doesn't happen. And I am not talking out of theory. I'm talking about experience, because in Ghana Christian International School, they were bullying. We dismissed them, and now, at least for the past 3 years, I don't remember dismissing more than 3 students. And also, we have trained them. The second level is stopping it. The second level is the psychology of knowing that it is for the stronger to take care of the younger. So you build a whole culture. And let me say, if my education was psychology still works when I was a teacher trainee, is that it takes about 3 years. So you don't just go and this one has come and then there's so much, and then after one semester is finished. You sustain it until a new culture prevails. And that requires eternal vigilance. And
Right. This whole conversation is, we know that it's not only for school authorities. Do parents have a role in this?
Well, of course. I mean, it's train a child in the way that he should go. But when he grows up, he will not depart from it. The good book in Proverbs, the Bible, Proverbs 22:6. But so definitely, we are having, and these days, remember, not only our homes, most of the parents have actually abandoned their responsibilities to make money. So upbringing makes a difference. For example, God forbid, if my child went and beat somebody in the school and I hear about it, the way he will not even dare to. So the bringing up of the children but at the end of the day, I don't think that the school authorities can go to everybody's home to make sure that their children who are coming are brought up. But in the same way, when Ghanaians go overseas, they work hard. When they come to Ghana, it's Abayajuma. Is the atmosphere which is created in the school is, to me, what I will aim at, because yes, parental upbringing is important and is a factor, but I am not going to be in a position to, or neither the government, to make sure that every home is being sane in the upbringing of the children, but the school can stop it.
I'm grateful for your time, Professor Stephen Adai. He's former Game Park rector and he is a renowned educator. He said we should make it a complete dismissable offense so that it will deter others from engaging in. We're trying to reach the headmaster of Adisadel College, who will be joining us to also tell us what school authorities have done so far about this matter. But we also know that the police has taken charge of the case, and we'll be following all of that and we'll bring you updates on what we have found. Let's get